Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 21st edition of the Difr podcast. This time, we're going to do a little bit different. We're just going to stick to one issue, and it's an important issue. It's about the private equities available in Nepal for Nepali entrepreneurs. I mean, there are other private equities available in the market, like the global market, but then Nepal has these weird rules, and we'll go we'll dive into that really clearly in this slide itself. And we're going to break down Dolma Impact Fund. It's one of the biggest private equities in Nepal. There are others. We'll feature them later in this series of the podcast. And yes, Difr Design does not represent Dolma Impact Fund, and we do not intend to make any harm or ill will. We're only using the information they provided on their website. And as always, all images used in this slide or podcast are all not intended for copyright infringement. And all information that you use is intended for fair use. And if you'd like to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or visit our website, the links are given below. So let's get into the podcast, okay? What is a private equity fund, or what is private equity? Let's break it down. So you have a bunch of people that are going to invest all your money into the startup. Now, any sort of individual that can do that is a private equity. With other market sources, it's very hard for them to circumnavigate the IPO issues and everything. So private equities are the ones that take charge of opportunities that are not available in the public market. Okay, so anybody can be a private equity. Your uncle, your aunt, or anyone who invest in unexploited opportunities in the market. They can be private equity. Let's say you want to open a restaurant, your small business, and your uncle invests 10 lakhs for like 10% of the shares. That means your company is now valued, or your restaurant is valued at 1 crore. So what do you say to that? That's a private equity. Let's say this big shot capital investment market person invests the same money. They're a private equity. So anybody or any entity that invests in unexploited opportunities in the market is a private equity. A private equity can be individuals, funds, holdings, or any partners, silent partners, all sort of things. Okay, so the biggest difference between the IPO market and the private equity market is capital is not listed in the public exchange. That means the number of people that can own shares or claim ownership is limited to the founders or the existing share owners of the company. So let's say I wanted to invest in some startup here, or any company, or any private limited company, especially for Nepal. I could be a private equity, but they could choose not to take my money if they get a better offer. So yeah, that sort of a thing. And they usually finance early stage ideas, projects in major advantage for this form of investment. Yeah, there's a lot of risk with that, but then that's what private equities do. They calculate risk to reward, and they invest their money. Now, today, a sort of private equity we're doing is Dolma Impact Fund. By the name itself, it's a fund. It's not just individual. It's not just a like random assortment of people. It's a fund. It has like these vehicles where they have assessment, analysis. They have all sorts of things. And like always, if my information is not enough, you're always welcome to go to Dolma Impact Fund's website and source information from there. Just type in Dolma Impact Fund on Google, and I think their SEO is really good, so that you can always be directed to that. Now, why I'm doing this in English is because I want foreigners who are interested to learn about Nepali investment markets, and they want to invest in Nepali markets, they can understand that there are funds available in Nepal that are investing millions of dollars in Nepal. And I don't mean millions of rupees, I mean millions of dollars. So this from Dolma Impact Fund's website. Like, as I always said, Dolma Impact Fund has two funds that invest in Nepali companies. I think they closed the first round and the second round pretty recently from their website. Don't take my word for it. Choose whatever is in their website. They invest in broad areas, primarily looking at scalability, increasing skills, and meet demand market. So if you are a scalable company and you believe in increasing skills for your employees or people who work for your company, and you are ready to meet the demand market demand, Dolma Impact Fund is there for you. Dolma Impact Fund does not provide aid, but it provides socially responsible risk sharing capital. So what does okay, this is for Nepali people, and I think people who don't understand the difference between aid and risk sharing capital. So that means aid is aid. So let's say you have this big INGO or any sort of international money coming into the country. You give that money and you don't ask that money in return. You don't ask your returns for that. You just ask for a report, or maybe even in some cases that's just gone. But then that money can be spent in actual aid, or that money can be spent in whatever thing you can say. But then when you are doing investments in risk sharing capital, that means, let's say the company that Dolma Impact Fund or any sort of a fund like that invests in any company in Nepal, what they do is they invest in that money, they ask for ownership, they ask for certain rights that comes with the ownership of that company, and then they try to meet government demands. So let's say the founders, the investors, even Dolma Impact Fund did everything right, but sometimes in the market the timing might not be correct, or some new rules so that the margins are pretty low, and then the business doesn't take off as expected, and all the money, they are not getting the returns they wanted. That's the risk. So they share the risks and they share the benefits. When you have aid, you never share the benefits, or you do, not the financial benefit, but the benefit of helping society or whatnot. But then this is the type of money that comes with consequences. Okay, so you have to be really financially responsible if you want to approach these sort of folks, because they are not here just to help you out. They are here to make money and help you fund your business. Okay, so there are certain types of markets Dolma Impact Fund invests in, and these markets could be whatever I want, whatever there's written in their website, not whatever I want. So it could be a lot of things. Why I posted this tech related picture right here, right next to them, is because they've invested in a biotech company, and they've invested in some hydropower companies that I've known so far, and they seem like the type of people that want to work in the cutting edge business in Nepal, at least. And I see a lot of good ventures that they're venturing out to, and I really like that. So from the Dolma Impact Fund's website, so I don't talk anything out of any other website, because I want to talk only about Dolma Impact Fund from their website, because everything else is going to be hearsay, and I don't want to say something that's untrue. They invest in renewable energy. They invest in agriculture, and like I said, they also invest in health tech, or whatever, tourism, financial inclusion, education. So, and they have more information on their website. Link is given below, and the link will be given in the description. And see, the thing about it is, one of the best companies that I like, even I wanted to invest in, or I'm trying to invest in, I got the idea from the strategies Dolma Impact Fund is using. They've invested in a biotech company, and I really enjoyed the fact that they did that, because that gives me the indication that there's strong players in the market that are investing in this sector, even if they capture, let's say, 40 to 60% of the market. Even if I capture the 2% of the market, they're going to grow that market so big that tomorrow, whenever people think there's biotech companies in Nepal, the markets that they can't serve, my investments or the biotech companies that I invest on can. So I always am looking out for these big companies that are investing in these good markets. So let me tell you this: whatever Warren Buffett does in the US, a lot of other investors invest in that strategy, and they try to make money off of that. Similar to that is this market in Nepal, where I tend to study a lot on what these big impact funds and these capital investment companies, they do. And because of their strategy, if their markets are growing, that means it's going to help other subsidiary companies that can supply the parts of the resources that the big players need, and then we can invest in that. So if you're thinking of investing in Nepal, always look at the people that are the leaders. And I already know that you're a smart person if you listen to this podcast, because only smart people listen to this podcast. Hey. The investment criteria. So this is from the Dolma Impact Fund website, and go to their website for more information. This is gonna be a lot of word heavy, few minutes. So just brace yourself. First, management team in place and open to working with board representing active investors with significant minority. So significant minority could be from 20% to 49%. That depends on your negotiation. I don't know how low they can go or how high they can go, but then that's from their website. And here's the important part: the active investors. So when you have these big money moving vehicles, what they do is they not only inject money into your organization, they help you manage your leadership, management, and everything that comes under the sun. You're not only getting there like one time solution, you're getting money and you're trying to get the services that their money provides. And the management team able to demonstrate relevant expertise and track record. So so they need to assess if the management team or the leadership is able to deliver on the promises that the business is set out on. Um, this is the other thing. They're pretty heavy on numbers on this one. Business generates annual revenue of at least USD 500,000 K. That means if your company is already earning about 5 crore rupees, I think, annual revenue, that's when they invest. And let's say this is the usual thing. Most people think about the 5 crore as the limit where they're getting all these fundings from, but then they've already said that on their website your revenue needs to be at 5 crore. So I do think you need to have a certain set of cojones, they like to call it in Spanish, to approach them in this regard. And each investment is between 500K to USD 4 million. Larger amounts are possible through Dolma Impact Funds, co-investment partners. This is all from their website, okay? So so if you already earn 500K and you need that short-term change, they can give another 500K up to $4 million. That's about what, 40 crores? So if you're looking for that kind of a business in the market, there you go. This is business generates or has the ability to generate competitive market rates of return. This is exactly verbatim of the website, okay? I did not do anything. This is their investment criteria. These are the types of companies they invest on. Like I've already told you what are the ranges of areas they invest, the markets they invest on. These are the types of characteristics or criteria your company needs to have so that Dolma Impact Fund can invest on you. Okay, this is important. Business needs to have identifiable exit options. Dolma Impact Fund in the past has exited certain businesses with profit. So you need to understand businesses need to have identifiable exit options. So the thing about Nepal and most people here is they think once you own a business, you own a business until like some calamity happens, you have to sell. But the thing about capital funds and private equity is they want to invest in your company, they want to take the money out, and they want to preferably have profit from that exchange. So they don't want to stick around for like the lifetime of the company and stay there. They want to exit as far as possible when the market's really, really good. And yes, opportunity to create social and environmental impact through Dolma's investment. So this is in my opinion, okay, this is where my opinion comes in. This is where they're really financially and socially responsible by putting this criteria in. So that's it. So let's discuss about their portfolio, okay? These are just the logos of the companies they've invested in. Like I said, a biotech company, and that's one of the strategies that I've used. These are all sourced from online. Sustodil and Fuse Machines, as far as I think from the logos. Swet Ganga Hydropower Limited. they're pretty big on hydropower companies. I understand why, and they're big. They like going into renewable energy, and I really like that. They invested in Surikola Hydropower Private Limited, one of the other bigger hydropower projects out there. They've invested in Rhododendron Biotech Private Limited, and as far as I understand, okay, so if I was working at Dolma Impact Fund, I would look at these strategies and say these are pretty insane strategies given they're invested in energy and then biotech, because there's a lot of things that can be done between the two. Okay, biotech in itself is an enabler to the energy industry. There's batteries, there's lots of other things, and they've already captured the consumer market with Susto and they've already invested on, or in their portfolio is Fuse Machines that's already working in the AI. So there's this whole idea of capturing these diverse markets, but then you're not trying to create a monopoly in the investment market. But in a case, if any of us, any of the other companies or the founder decided to say, okay, I want to start the spin-off companies, this network is so empowering that tomorrow when all these companies need to work, it can really be helpful. Now they have also invested in Cloud Factory Group. They have also invested in Fuse Machines, Sostudio. That's in their portfolio. So that's about it about Dolma Impact Fund. If you want to know more, just go onto their website and learn more. And I do not want to emphasize this less. I want to emphasize this more. If you ever have anything confusion with whatever I say, just go with the official source. And I do not want to misrepresent Dolma Impact Fund. Thank you for providing all that information on your website. Okay. It was really interesting for me to read other stuff. There's a lot of other ideas and information on their website that is really crucial to what I understand about Nepal's economy. They have a lot of things that you can learn yourself. Just go visit their website. It's really interesting to read the things there. So yeah, let's talk about the updates since the last podcast. Last podcast meaning the Nepali podcast. I don't mean the English because this is the first podcast of the decade in English for us. So working on a few projects with Green Decision Labs and Research, namely energy efficiency and disaster vulnerability. These are the two projects I've been working with the friends at Green Decision Labs and Research. They're pretty cool, good people. They've been on the podcast before, so I like working with them. So sometimes you have these bad negotiations, and I wasn't, I wasn't happy with the terms, and I dropped out of a certain project, because there are certain things that I do not want to disclose at the moment, but then certain negotiations were not great. Things happen in Nepal's market, Iranian market, but that's a type of thing that I went through. This is something I really have started working on. So I published this research from all the podcastings that I've done so far. Based on that, I'm working on learning deep reinforcement learning, and it's for fun, but then it's for work too. And if anybody can do deep reinforcement learning, that's really good for their companies. And I understand that AI and machine learning can be really a useful tool, and it's not the all be all end all be all thing, but it's a really important tool. And I think I need to get updated with some of the new working ideas coming from it, from that sector. I don't know. I still think of it as a black box, but I'm working on the feature engineering side, and then I'm gonna move on to the architecture, and then I'm gonna move up into the reward system. So I'm learning as parts how it goes. I'm basically trying to understand the algorithm first, how everything flows into that process map, and then work on the actual script, because learning a script isn't that hard. As far as I understand, Python has helped me a lot with learning the script. So that's it. I hope to see you soon, and an audition for this. This is the one. What is my life for the universe? This is just my life is shit right now. So that's why the podcasts have been sparse. But I hope to have that work-life balance, so that the podcast can be there can be more podcasts in the future, more numbers. But right now, it's I've been balancing a lot of things. So There's the warning, and thank you. Bye bye.